Where does the online line, so to speak, between free speech and harassment get drawn? And what kind of online behavior characterizes an online troll? A group of Jewish students in France has sued Twitter over racist and anti-Semitic tweets, which they say violate the country's anti-racism laws. Etika Schubert has that story.
Now, this case revolves around the Twitter hashtag #UnBonJuif, which translates as a good Jew. Now, this hashtag became the third most popular in France on Twitter last year in October. Unfortunately, some people were using this hashtag to post anti-Semitic comments and jokes, even tweeting photos of the Holocaust. Now, frankly, many of these posts are so offensive, we will not be repeating them on CNN. But these tweets did pose a legal dilemma for Twitter. Twitter did remove some of the most offensive posts, but the Union of Jewish Students in France wanted Twitter to take it a step further, and they sued the company, demanding that they hand over the details of who posted these abusive comments online. Now, Twitter refused, but in January, a French court ruled that Twitter must hand those details over, and that split public opinion in France. Take a listen.
As a rabbi and as a Jew, I feel very hurt and very sorry about certain tweets, and it really hurts me. And I think like the French law should be strong with people that say such things.
Well, I think there should not be. I mean, it's a free land of expression, and it's precisely the place where we can tweet whatever you want to say, whatever you think. So I think it's quite dangerous that the French government want to track people. I mean, for me, it's an alienation of freedom of speech. You have the right to say whatever you want to say.
Now, Twitter has ignored the ruling, arguing that it is based in the United States and protected by the First Amendment, the right to free speech. The French court, however, has said that Twitter must hand those details over, and until it does, it is fining the company $1,000 a day. Not much, perhaps, for a company like Twitter, but the Union of Jewish Students is also suing Twitter for $50 million, so it could get a lot more expensive. Etika Schubert, CNN, London.
Well, we contacted Twitter about the lawsuit, and the company's communication manager responded saying, quote, "We've been in continual discussions with UEJF, the Union for Jewish Students. They're sadly more interested in grandstanding than taking the proper international legal path for this data. We have filed our appeal of the civil matter and would have filed it sooner if not for UEJF's intentional delay in processing the court's decision." Well, I am joined now from Paris by Elie Petit. He's the vice president and spokesman for France's Union of Jewish Students. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for welcoming me.
So, Elie, Twitter is saying you're grandstanding, essentially. You're not interested in resolving this, that this is just a question of making a big splash and a point. How do you respond to what Twitter is saying about you?
Actually, it's exactly the contrary. We are interested in values and our law to be respected, and the anti-racist values of France to be respected. So we are not interested in publicity. We are interested in our law to be respected, and an American company to respect the French law in our country.
Now, let me ask you this question then. I mean, we live in a world where anybody, anywhere can say anything on the internet. And that's just the nature of the internet. And you have to deal with that and put up with the fact that it's the world we now live in. What do you say to people who say deal with it?
So we deal with it. We want a regulation, and we want Twitter to understand that these tweets are made by French people toward the French public. And these tweets are attacking French citizens. So we think, yes, they are addressed and they are available to the whole world if they connect. But no, we are in a country in France where anti-Semitic acts have risen by 68% this year after 3 children were killed in a Jewish children in a Jewish school. And this have effects. It's not only virtual worlds, it's acts and violence.
What would it be okay, for instance, if Twitter removed the most offensive tweets from the site, or do you want more action to be taken?
We want more action to be taken. We want the French law to be respected. And what does the French law say? The French law says that any service and platform of social network could deal with the content and implement a proper reporting system on their website. It's the case, and it's really easy, and you can see it on Facebook, on Google, on Pinterest, on any other platform. But Twitter doesn't want to implement this simple tool.
So what happens next then in this case?
So Twitter removed some tweets, but we do not want at French Union of Jewisans and any other anti-racist organization that are concerned with this lawsuit to be the garbage cleaner of the internet.
Yeah.
We want a system to be implemented, and Twitter to give to the French justice the data of identification of these posters, racist posters, for them to be prosecuted, and for the feeling of impunity on the internet to disappear.
Are you getting any response? I mean, I read a statement from Twitter, but are you or your lawyers in contact with Twitter? Have you gotten any reaction from them as to what might happen? Could this be settled out of court, or is this going to become a court case?
Okay. A few days ago, we didn't have any answer from Twitter. This is why we made this move, and we asked for French justice to ask Twitter for this sum of money and for the responsibility of Dick Costolo, the CEO of Twitter. Actually, it worked because we had a reaction. Now they are going in another step, and if we can have an argument and an easy argument together to find a solution, it will be the best way. Otherwise, we are going to court.
All right, Elie Petit, thank you very much for joining us. You are the Vice President for France's Union of Jewish Students, and you're joining us live from Paris on this. Thank you so much.